Imagine rocking up to a local group ride and you see someone wearing the Oz Champs kit. Is that Luke Plapp? No, that's Mark O'Brien. Mark O'Brien is a former pro cyclist and today he was tearing the legs off everyone. This is Melbourne's famous Hell Ride. Hell Ride's been quite well known across Australia as one of the most notorious chops you can do. And on today, I certainly found out why it has this notorious reputation. Rolling turns, pushing out 500 watts, just sitting in the wheels. It was absolutely on and I was hurting. Throughout the ride, I was quite nervous for this section. It's the little pinch in the middle of the ride. And the looming question was, would I hold on or would I get dropped? So we just landed in Melbourne and my bike has been put on the wrong flight. Apparently it is ended up in Cairns. So 2 hours later, we've finally been reunited with our bike. Shout out the bloke from Virgin who got it off the airline and actually went looking for it. Man, I thought Japan was chaotic and the city was a bit, how you going? We're fucking Melbourne. Oh, can't navigate for shit here. Anyway, we are in Melbourne and we are on the bike. First time on the bike in Melbourne. Never driven to Melbourne, so I don't really understand the hook turn. Kind of just figured it out a minute ago. But yeah, we are going to head over to the map lab and have a squeeze at that. So I think we are just about to pull up to the map lab. Actually never been to a map lab before. There you go. This is the lab. How you going, mate? We went to Map Lab and now we've come to the new case shop, which is in Collingwood. It's 2 levels. It's pretty mint. Some of you have commented previously and said, you know, what do? Do you have structure? And I had zero structure until recently. So recently I got a coach and I'm being coached by RCA. So there's a bloke there called Ryan Thomas. Shout out Ryan. Ryan is my coach and been great so far. I've been enjoying it. It definitely makes you more accountable. And you know, those rides you don't want to get out on, you're pretty much forced to. We are proper rugged up this morning. The longies on, jacket on, gloves on. It's a cold one. Hey. You walk out that door and the cold like instantly hits you. Toes are gonna fucking freeze. So yeah, we're down in Melbourne and we are off to do the Hell Ride. Yeah, I'm getting fucking lost. I don't know how I'm getting there. I'm trying to get to the Ocean Road. I think it's called Beach Road. But we're not doing too well. I've never ridden in Melbourne before. Got to meet Oscar at 6:30. And I gotta get some brekkie. We're locked in this morning. We've got some carb mix in our drinks from Pure Sports Nutrition. We've got some gels from them too, so came prepared and ready to tuck in. Yo! I've had a bit of a bad back all week. I did something to my hip and it's been putting pressure on my sciatic nerve. This is my second ride of the week. I did a cheeky 40 yesterday just to get out and about, but fingers crossed it's actually all right. Did some glute activation this morning and have been kind of taking it easy, resting it, get some Nurofen in and some deep heat. I also forgot to mention, it is my birthday today. So the reason I'm in Melbourne is for my birthday, and my partner has allowed me to bring my bike only because it's my birthday. So she's like, all right, you can ride on the Saturday morning. Big 28 today, almost fucking 30. We just arrived at meet-up point. It's fucking cold.
Pardon? What's my yeah, it's artery blockage.
Coming into this ride, I was actually a little bit nervous. Having never ridden in Melbourne before and never ridden in the Hell Ride before, I didn't know the route and I didn't really know what I was in for. I had been told by quite a few people that I wanted to sit towards the front third of the group. So at this point, I was trying to think to myself, am I towards the front? Should I be making moves to get up ahead? But I could see Oscar was only a few wheels ahead of me, so I was pretty confident with my positioning at the time. Here we actually do get a red light, and I thought this was a pretty good opportunity to move a few places up, try and sit where Oscar was sitting. So Oscar's actually on my right-hand side there. And Oscar's a local in Melbourne and has done this ride numerous times. So he'd given me some pointers on what I should be doing and what I necessarily shouldn't be doing. So I thought, if I'm near him, I'll be all right. As you can tell, we're doing rolling pace line here along Beach Road, and Oscar just rolled over on my right-hand side. Pretty happy to sit on someone's wheel, considering my heart rate was up at 170. So 170 for myself is getting pretty high and pretty up there. That means I'm really working, and I could already feel it in the legs. I was quite knackered already. So at points later on, I actually told myself, all right, you need to sit in and you need to recoup, even though we were only probably 25, 30 kilometers into this ride. On Beach Road, we did actually catch quite a few red lights on the day, both out and on the way back. At the end of this video, I'm going to include a short segment where my coach kind of breaks down the data and the power that I did on the day. He actually found out that I did 353 normalized watts for the entire duration of this ride. So the watts were definitely up there and we were really pushing quite hard. Fast forwarding a little bit on this ride, I am trying to sit in a little bit and let my heart rate stabilize. You can actually see on the right hand side there, it has dropped significantly and is quite low. So that's just from sitting in the wheels and not having to roll turns out the front, pushing 600 watts as you come through. As you can probably tell from the videos where we're rolling turns, we're doing some pretty big watts, and even sitting in the wheels, I found I was doing a lot more watts than normal in this group. I don't know if it was because it was surgy at the back or what it was, but I definitely felt quite fatigued at this point, so I decided to sit in again and try stabilize my heart rate. So I'd sat in long enough, I thought, and I did a little hero move and tried to get to the front of the group so I could continue rolling turns with the big boys, not knowing that the climb was only 1 kilometer away, if not less. Now, I guess that's where course management comes into play, and if you'd done the route before, you would know, Max, do not do what you just did. Save your legs, mate, and sit in as long as you can until after the climb. But, you know, I didn't know where this climb was, and I'd never done this route before. Obviously, I wanted to roll a turn because I like rolling turns at the front, but we're about to pay the price. So here it is. We come around the corner. I've done my turn. Mark O'Brien rolls over my shoulder. I'm holding 400 watts, and I'm still getting dropped. Oscar actually turned to me a moment ago, and he said, Max, here's the climb. Get ready. I was ready, but I didn't think I needed to be this ready because I'm still pushing 550 watts here and still getting dropped from this group. And I give it another kick here, and I'm pushing again, 580, 550, trying my hardest to stay with the bunch, but it just wasn't happening.
It's not looking good, bruv. Can Max hold on to hell ride? Yes or no? Answer is no. Fuck. That little hill, I was not prepared. Thinking out of nowhere, similar scenario to ride with Cam. I rolled a turn, coming into the base of that hill. Fucking idiot.
So we got to the top of the hill, and there was a turnaround point where the boys come back past you. They flew past, so we had to bridge a little gap to catch back onto this bloke's wheel. We eventually do catch onto his wheel, but we're doing some big watts sitting with these guys as well. And funnily enough, there was actually some little rollers here that I wasn't expecting. So still doing pretty high watts, even sitting in the bunchy. And I was quite fatigued at this point, not feeling very good. I had a week off the bike as well, and legs were just not where they should be. So I sat on that guy's wheel for some time, and we've just crested over the top of that hill, and we're still pushing big watts coming over the lip. And the guys are rolling through pretty quickly, and honestly, I was quite worried that I was going to get dropped again. Fast forwarding a little bit here, we're actually coming along Beach Road, and I hit a little hole here. You kind of see the bloke in front of me's wheel jump up just there, And I was like, ooh, you even hear me go, ooh. And my seat bent down pretty much completely. So I've lost the wheel here. And I was like, was that my seat post or was that my seat? Thinking that my seat post had dropped. Anyway, there was only a few kilometers left in the ride and I was pretty fatigued at this point. So I thought I'm going to pull over and I'm going to have a look and see if I can fix it because it was quite bent.
We hit a fucking massive pothole and my seat like tilted forward the whole way and it's literally pretty much unrideable at the minute. Hell ride was pretty brutal. Definitely got stitched up going up that little climb. I don't know what was going on, but holding 400 watts, 450 watts in the wheels. Melbourne has some hitters. That was the Melbourne Hell Ride. So Melbourne Hell Ride has won and Tuesday World Champs has won. So I guess I got to come back and give them both another whirl where I know the course, where to roll turns and where not to roll turns. All right, that is it. We are back at the hotel and that was the Hell Ride. That was the Melbourne Hell Ride, which a lot harder than I'd anticipated. And coming into that first pinch, you really want to have some fresh legs because it fucking hurts.
This is the Hell Ride. It's really good, man. Nice peak, all out powers. So second best all time, 60 and 90 minute, and same heart rate. So yeah, you're definitely giving it your all. From a pure power perspective, I'll go into WKO5 in a second. But we just look at the bunchy, was really solid. So bit where you got dropped, you can see like kind of like peaking here. Sounds like around this section. So if you look at the first bit, you're doing 34 minutes, doing 353 normalized power. So right up just under threshold, 94% of threshold normalized. Average power 325. So not super high, and speed isn't super high either. I imagine a few of these drops at lights and etc. would have dropped the speed. Yeah, really solid. And I think this is still really solid given the big down point. So like you can see in here, there's like extended time. So 1 minute down into high zone 2, low zone 3. Same here. You got 3.5 minutes. Yeah, very low zone 2. So see some good recovery in here. So still good effort. So you did 2 minutes at 470 watts, which is really solid. So your best 2 minute is 543, which was in your critical power test, the 3 minute. So nice to, 470 is really hard after already doing 350 for 30 minutes before it. So really solid. And then you still manage to maintain the rest. WKO5, quite interesting here. We represent it in a different way, and you can see that where you got dropped was pretty valid. Purple line, your dynamic functional reserve capacity, also known as watt prime in other areas, but WK5 has their own algorithm for this. Your threshold is a little bit lower just because we haven't done any long max efforts in here, so just keep that in mind. But functional reserve capacity of watt prime is pretty close to what we have it set at, but this isn't super accurate in terms of your full physiology just because of the testing, but it's a good representation of what's happening in your body. So the purple line, essentially your energy reserve above threshold. How much time can you spend there without fully recovering? So see the start of the bunch ride is this point, end of the bunch ride is this point. You start, immediately goes down, and it's gradually going down, replenishing little bits until you get to this climbing bit, and then it goes all the way down. So your dynamic functional reserve capacity drops down into the negatives. If you look up the top left there, it goes into negative 1,000. So yeah, it's a pretty good representation that your tank was pretty much empty. So if you had have been able to keep going, I'd say it was a little bit of a surprise. Nice clean picture to show how your energy reserves are tracking over a hard effort.
Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll have to come back and know the course better and give it a red hot crack. But thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Ciao.